with Cody Rhodes revealing a mistake he made in AEW and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for April 18th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. During his podcast, Kurt Angle recalled being a free agent following his win for the 1996 Olympics. He would ask a legend, Nature Boy Ric Flair, about which company he should join at the time. Yeah, you know what? I met Ric Flair before I started in the business. I met him in his gym in North Carolina, and I asked him, I said, Rick, which company should I sign with? Because both companies were interested. WWE, it was WWF at the time, and WCW. And Rick immediately said, go with Vince McMahon. He'll take care of you. Do not go to WCW, because he knew they would probably bury me in WCW. Vince McMahon would take care of me. Angle would also note, when speaking of what culture, that he wishes more pro wrestlers would stop having spot fests. I think people don't buy into the fact that you have to be big to be dominating. There are a lot of athletes like AJ Styles that are undersized, that are doing tremendously well. I credit those guys. These guys today are so much better athletes than we were in our heyday. It's because of the new training, the core training and the CrossFit training and everything that they have going on. Technology has put them ahead of the game now. Rey Mysterio is still going, and he's been so undersized. 140 pounds, and look what he's done in the business. I like where the business is headed. I just wish they would pull it back a little bit, slow down and take their time in the matches, rather than it being a spot fest. With AEW president Tony Khan owning Ring of Honor, Dave Meltzer would note on Wrestling Observer Radio that talent being acquired for the brand is a good sign that a TV deal is coming, saying this about the upcoming announcement. Yeah, it could be any one of a million different things. Could be a lot of different things. Distribution deal for Ring of Honor, streaming deal. The last Sinclair show was today. This was the last one. So, obviously, Sinclair was not interested in keeping the programming when they sold the company. Tony Khan is signing people. You know, Jonathan Gresham, the guys that Tully Blanchard and some of the other guys. He's signing guys. He's going with the impression that he's getting something. So I think he's probably in at least, I gotta think, he's in at least talks of it. So maybe that's the announcement. As Ringside News previously reported that a joint show between AEW and New Japan would take place, it would be noted by The Observer that I heard the rumors of a New Japan AEW show, and the only thing I can say is I asked and it wasn't denied. It wasn't confirmed, and they're not going to confirm to me the surprise. So to me that leaves that one on the table as a potential surprise, because if they are not doing that show, I believe I would have been told we're not doing that show. So I think there's smoke to that fire. The streaming deal, we know that he's working on that. Obviously, he's got to work on a distribution deal for Ring of Honor. They need new distribution to keep it going. So I think that timing wise, that makes the most sense of a story. Talking to The Athletic, Triple H said that despite many of his top NXT stars leaving the brand for AEW, that he still keeps in touch with them. I like all those guys. They helped us get where we needed to get, and I'm thankful for it. The truth is, there was a period of time where we were trying to build NXT. We built NXT. Then we were trying to build a brand that could get a television show and sustain it. All those names helped us get there. Whether anybody believed or not they fit on Raw or SmackDown, those aren't necessarily my decisions solely, and they're Vince McMahon's decisions and fans' decisions. And then can we continue to do business with them? If they have great gigs, I'm happy for them. I stay in touch with almost all of them. I like to think they came into us here. We taught them a lot, got them to a higher level where they learned how to do television, how to be professionals, and all that to be successful there. At some point, they might come back with us, or they might never because they don't fit our brand as well, but that's okay. They got us to certain places, and I'm thankful for that, and they're thankful for that, and they're off to different things. But that doesn't stop the train. People leave football teams, move to different teams all the time, and it's great. Triple H would also touch on the new hiring process for WWE, claiming independent wrestlers suffer from more bad habits as opposed to those with little to no experience. The tryouts we did before, where there were a lot of athletes and experienced indie guys, I don't think there's any less of a that's a rock star. The indie stuff, half of it is, he's a good in-ring performer, but the rest is a mystery. He's got bad habits, I have to get out of him. That is almost cleaner. It's a blank slate. Shortly following Triple H's absence due to medical issues, NXT would go through a slew of changes, rebranding into NXT 2.0. During that same interview, the game revealed that these alterations were coming whether he was present or not. There was this point where it was on the WWE network, had this cult following, and we needed to get on television. How do we do that? We need more experience. We need to professionalize this a little bit to make the product where fans want to see that. We got them to that place. The pandemic messed it up a little bit because it was right when we went on TV and we had to shift our focus. Doing it in front of no people. It completely altered what we were doing. We couldn't recruit or train for almost 2 years, but the show stayed. Then we said, okay, let's reboot it and go back to what we originally were. Some of these people won't be ready for television, but we're gonna put them on television. We believe the audience is invested enough that the numbers might come down, but a core group of them will stay, and now you're creating fresh stars all the time. That's where we are now. The numbers have stabilized. People like Braun Breaker, he's been training for a year. Half the women, they've been here a year maybe. There's a lot that's just so fresh and new. People used to say that constant churn of NXT was a negative. The churn is what's great about it. The people here now, hopefully a year and a half from now, none of them are even in NXT anymore, and the ones that make it will be on to Raw and SmackDown. That's the magic. It truly is the developmental league, the college football, AAA baseball. Yeah, they're not all quite ready to be in that major league role yet, but you're discovering them before they become household names. We were talking about this shift anyway. That's where we were headed. It happened at a period of time where I had to leave for a bit. Luckily, Shawn Michaels had been doing it with me all the time, so it was a seamless thing. I stepped out, did what I needed to do, but that team has killed it. They've really created a show where you can really say that's the next generation of stars. During his time with AEW, Cody Rhodes would stipulate that if he did not win the world title that he would never challenge for it again. While he kept his word, Rhodes would note on Out of Character that it was a mistake. Immature enough is what I said in the moment, and I think more I meant that role. I did well with it, and I was very active, and I did start the company department, and Brandy did bring Culture City into the wrestling and sports entertainment space. We were very active in terms of all the facts and assets of that gig, but I think that job was meant maybe for, we wanted a wrestling company brought to you by wrestlers for sure. That was a huge part of the mission, but maybe it would have been better served for me at age 45 than it did at age 33. I am just now entering the prime of my career. To make political decisions like boxing myself out of winning a world championship, those decisions in hindsight were not the correct decisions in what I should have been doing. I'm the best wrestler in the world. I can tell you that without it sounding braggadocious, simply because it's all I do. I train to do it, I live and breathe it. I have a school here with 4 rings. I treat this like an athlete in the NFL would treat a game. With that in mind, I needed to go and be that, and I wanted to be both. It was too difficult, and that's where I didn't have the maturity to balance it. It wasn't a matter of being one of the boys versus not, because I'm no longer just one of the boys. I love it and wish I could be one, but I've been in this position before, and been on the other side, and in the production meetings, and part of the technical production, but I think it would have served me better later in life when I could look at a show and be like, I don't want to be in the top spot. You need that good competition in your locker room, that positive and real competition. If I can't be the best wrestler in the world on television because I'm afraid I'm going to offend colleagues because I'm also their boss, that was the situation we were in, and I just played it in the middle. There was only so much of playing it in the middle I could do, and now I'm not in charge of anything other than me and being a pro wrestler. I say I'm the best wrestler in the world. I felt like it for years. Now we're in a situation where I do have to be careful of how I say it because I'm not carrying the belt. Cody would also reveal that American Top Team's Dan Lambert made him want to return to WWE. Dan Lambert handed me the WWF Championship. He handed me the title that my dad is holding in that picture from 1977. He handed it to me, and in that moment, I felt like that decision was almost made for me. I don't know if he inadvertently caused this industry-changing moment, but there were times when it was, this is what has to happen. This is what has to happen and what needs to happen. I think we did it with respect and love, and it feels like the casual fans, wrestling fans, sports entertainment fans, feels like the fans get it, and that's really touching. I don't know how long the honeymoon phase will last, but we're on the beach right now and really, truly enjoying it. Despite claiming in multiple interviews that Triple H is his favorite wrestler, Cody Rhodes revealed to Ryan Satin that he still has anger towards the game. In the media scrum, I did not say what the interaction was like because I think that interaction to him may be normal. Here he is, upper management, one of the greatest of all time, going through a lot himself. Maybe just talking to me was another Tuesday. For me, it wasn't. It was different because he is one of my favorites. Sting, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. I did model a great portion of what I was doing after how he had modeled a lot of the game brand. moment. But also too, I admit that I was very, very angry. That anger remains as far as how we saw each other, how he saw me, and what I wanted to do. I wanted to channel that anger differently. It was a really touching moment. I didn't tell anybody what he said, and I never will, but it was a touching moment. While he is one of the biggest stars in WWE today, there was a time when Roman Reigns could not get booked on The Tonight Show, as Triple H revealed to The Athletic 3 years ago The Tonight Show would call and want a guest and ask for Triple H or The Undertaker or John Cena. There was a year I couldn't make it work and asked them to pick Roman or Braun Strowman. They weren't interested. Now, Roman is on that show on his own. It takes time. You're building stars. It's not like Flash in the Pan stars, where this guy's hot in boxing today and 6 months later no one remembers him. You're trying to build generational stars that last. It takes time. It's a slow and steady progression, and they're getting there. Becky Lynch, Roman, they're becoming household names. Former WWE star Val Venis has been making headlines these days for his post on Twitter. On the social media site, Venis will post QAnon-related conspiracy theories, as he previously ran into trouble when posting what he believed to be evidence of Hunter Biden doing cocaine with President Obama's daughter. Now he has been suspended from the platform, as there are no details at this time regarding what he was kicked off for. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.